All right. Good morning, everybody. It must be Thursday. I'm Ed Parcaut. I'm here with Bobby Atkins, and we're the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. How you doing, Bobby?
Pretty good, Ed. How you doing today?
Can't complain.
Good.
Yeah. It's funny because I looked at a thing from 2 years ago and a year ago videos, how it pops up on, and I was like, what a difference. We're totally different these days. Much better than we used to be.
More polished.
Well, I don't want to say more polished, just a little bit better.
Yeah. Still kind of off the cuff,
Well, that's okay. It just, what more and more you do these, because everybody asks, why do you do so many? The more you do, the better you get.
Yeah, for sure. Oh
Period.
my gosh. I remember like the very first time we did one out. Yeah. It's just so awkward. It gets hard, or you get used to looking at yourself, right? And talking and hearing your own voice in your head.
Well, that's why I like everybody asks me why I do the headphones. I want to hear the sound. I want to make sure it sounds good coming through. I did a podcast with another mortgage person and this host and the mortgage guy was in Florida, and he wasn't in a studio because somebody was sick with COVID, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it was, but he had a mic and he had it sitting here. Right. So out here, not here.
Oh yeah.
Here. And it was like, you could hear the echo, and we were about ready to get going. And I'm like, hey, I don't mean to be a jerk about this, but could you please move your mic closer? I said, the reason I wear these headphones, and I'm sure he does too, is because of the fact that you can hear the sound. And the guy's like, well, it doesn't matter. Why? Just could you move the mic forward so it gets a better sound?
Yeah. I mean, if people can't hear you or it's distracting.
Well, the echo is, you don't want that. That's why, we know what it sounds like. I'm really stickler about not having to go through and fix the difference in people's voices after the fact. Let's get it done right the first time.
For sure.
All right. Enough about my bullshit. All right. So, just, today is Thursday. We're waiting for PPI to come out tomorrow to see really what's going on with the market. But, long term this year, we're going to see things get better for rates, worse for home affordability. And people are going, how could that be? Well, that's because the house prices are going to go up because so many people are coming out and there's not enough houses on the market. That's why affordability is still going to be bad.
So question for you, because I know this is the pulse of the market. How many current homeowners are you getting loan applications from
that have actual house right now?
Yeah.
None.
Okay. So no move up buyers yet, huh?
Nope.
Okay.
Because you'd have to really move up to make it work.
Yeah. I'm just curious, I mean, with the improvement in rates, I know everyone's kind of,
it's only 1%. It's only a couple $100.
Yeah, I know, but it's a big deal, right? When like last year we were looking at like 8s. Right?
Yeah, well, we're still at 7s, and depending on your FICO score and what program you're going for and all that stuff, it could be anywhere from middle, low 6s, middle 6s, 7%, depending on the program, right? If you're buying an investment property, you're probably higher and close to 7 or more. It just depends on the program and what it is. What I'm getting at, the difference, we're a little over 1%. On average, that's $200 to $300 a month. Well, if I'm paying $1,600 and I want to move up to a larger house that's only $100,000 more, my $1,600 now is $2,800 or what more.
Yeah,
that's major change. That's not just like it's the same, and it's going to be that way. So it's going to take a little bit to get people. Okay, well, I understand, because my last major move up was a guy who owned his house since 2012. His payment was, he owed hardly anything on this place in the college area. He bought the other house and it was like 800,000. He's going to sell this one and probably get 500 out of it, and net 400, put it down and pay down the mortgage on this other one. I told him not to. I told him go buy other property or other stuff for his business. But so it just depends on where you are in your life, because there's a lot of what we call the silver tsunami still coming. That's where 10,000 people a day are turning 65.
Yeah. So
and one more thing, by 2030, you're going to have all the baby boomer generation about at 65 or higher.
Yeah, I heard you and Mike talking about that on your Monday show.
Well, what I'm saying, it's important here too, because first-time home buyers and these people are fighting for the same property. Move down and first-time home buyers are fighting for the same property.
Yeah,
that's the problem we have right now. Well, we have many problems. Not enough homes being built. Not enough inventory on the market because of the rates and everything else. And we have two generations fighting for the same house, which has never been that way.
Well, obviously, all the boomers that are looking to downsize are going to have the cash on hand, or, you'll be more than likely going to be in a more competitive place than the first time home buyers, right?
Yes.
because they're going to have equity from a house or something.
Right.
So,
Or, and if they, and I don't want to say this wrong, like if they're smart, what they should do, boomers who have no, paid off their house and they want to buy the next house, don't slap down all your money on that. Slap down half of it and then do a reverse mortgage for the other half and keep half your cash. Keep it as a nice nest egg to put into something else so you don't have to worry about the rest of your life. You might have enough money, but what if, right, the market's down this year with your investments and you're pulling it out, you'll never recover. But if you can do it this way, you have, say, 250 grand put away in CDs, other stuff that doesn't really matter, but it's easy access. So when you need some money to live off of, you take it out of there instead of your retirement account.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, my kids want my house. Get better kids. Everybody's like, stop saying that, Ed.
Give them less to fight over.
Well, and that's the problem. People fight over all the stuff. The best thing you can do is sell everything and split the cash.
Yeah.
And then there's no fighting.
For sure.
But, or you just tell them you're not getting anything. I'm leaving it to the dogs or some organization. Cause it doesn't, there was an article. No, I was listening to a podcast when I was walking on Sunday, and they were talking about how generations of people who have money and their kids, when there's no friction, you're not benefiting your children. And one of the problems these days is our kids don't have a lot of friction like we did. Mm-hmm. And that's why they're not as strong as we are where we are in the world. You need to have your kids have friction in life so they can get better, because everything about us that makes us better, muscles, everything we build, is all because of friction and stuff we do to make that happen. You follow me there?
For sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of our entrepreneurs are people that grew up dirt poor and wanted a better life, right?
And 50% of them are veterans. Yeah, because, and the same thing, most veterans don't run towards danger coming from a great environment.
Yeah,
it's true, dude. I grew up dirt real poor, and it was a shitty childhood, and I went in the Navy. Yeah, it wasn't like, right, but I was at the Marines, so we'll leave it at that. Corpsman with the Marines.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know most people don't understand that, right? I had a buddy who was at Airedale with me, and then he got stop lost and cross rated to corpsman, and then went to Afghanistan and in Iraq and got a Purple Heart.
Yeah.
Like, how are you in the Navy in the desert?
Because the Marine Corps is a department of the Navy, which most people don't know. No doctor dumb enough to join the Marines. They joined the Navy, which is still, I'm just saying, think about that, So who are their docs? Corpsmen are their medics, who are there for first responder, first everything, right there. Same with SEAL team. That's who's there. The corpsman's there for in case something happens. Yeah, they're fighting too, but they're there in case something happens.
Yeah.
And people, I didn't realize that when I joined, but that's okay. I was all right with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get deployed as a doctor with a gun, right?
Yeah, never got deployed. So,
but for the corpsmen that do,
and Marines love their docs. They're corpsmen.
Yeah. So. Marine stands for my ass rides on Navy equipment, sir.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah. According to sailors, right?
I guess so. Yeah. Well, we are the higher form of marine life. All right, move on. All right, what else you want to talk about besides the military today?
Really just kind of vetting your lender.
What do you mean by vetting your lender?
Well, you're making sure that you have the correct lender, right? One who's knowledgeable, that's not going to get you tied up in a transaction, or go halfway through, say, oh, I totally missed something. I've heard that so many times, and I've had a couple of transactions where people want to use their agent's in-house lender, and they might be excellent lenders, but do your due diligence and make sure that they know what they're talking about, because I've had a couple of deals fall apart with the in-house lender, and then both the buyer and the agent are mad at each other because they had someone else in mind. So just because they're in-house doesn't mean they're great.
No, it does not. And usually it's in-house is lucky to get 25% of the business. So if they're getting more than that, they're doing an amazing job. But I just had one the other night. I was at dinner last Friday night. I was talking to the lady, like the manager or whatever. We were talking. She's like, I was looking at new homes, and the lady running my numbers was like, your payment's going to be $8,500 a month. She's like, what the heck? And then come to find out, new person, didn't run them right. Doesn't know what she's doing.
$85 million house.
That would not even be $1 million house. That'd be way more than that.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know the one I had last year, the listing was $765. We sold it for, and the mortgage was like like 5,200.
Yeah, I know. So,
Yeah.
and these are new homes in, I think, Oakdale, they're going for 650, 700. They're not going for $1 million.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, everybody else was like 5,000 or 4,800. And this one's like, it's 85. I know what I'm talking. Yeah. You probably had on a 15-year.
Yeah. Something, right?
Yeah. So that's the example. It's most people who've been doing this for a very long time don't work in-house, and they don't work for new home places. They're independents because that's where they like to be, and that's where we like to be at.
Yeah.
Because then we can do everything and get the stuff done right.
For sure. And get it done quickly.
Yeah. Because brokers, as a broker going through UWM, oh my God. A lot of people are like, I don't like it because they controlled it. If you do it right, stuff is so fast and so easy, and they do so much work for the brokers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I worked on 3 of my own deals during Christmas because everybody's gone, holidays and everything else, and I was like, wow, this is totally different than it was a year ago.
No kidding.
2 years ago, 6 months ago. Yeah, I was like, this is so easy and fast. This is ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would be a direct lender anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who are, I heard a thing from an agent the other day as well. I prefer direct lenders and in-house lenders. Well, good for you. It's not what you prefer. It's what's best for your client.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those people aren't what's best for your client. So.
There's been quite a few transactions, man, where, and they've been with you, right? Where I'll write an offer and it'll be for a short time period. And the agent will be like, well, we'll see if we can get that done. I'm like,
we can get done.
I'm like, yeah, what, 15 days? That's nothing.
Yeah. Well, I did one. I got them on the 10th, and they wanted to close by the end of the month in December.
Yeah.
There's 2 holidays in there, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily this year, there's only 1 day off, because usually there's 2 days off. What I mean is usually it's on a Tuesday. They take the Monday off, or it's on a Thursday. They take the Friday off also.
For sure. Yeah.
Escrows are closed. Well, the other thing is every Friday, like Tuolumne County they only did a morning. Everywhere only did morning recordings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you couldn't do a special on Friday. You had to, but it's not that big of a deal these days. There's nothing to it. If you get the documents, and I'm amazed how easy it is to get verification of employment. You're like going, fuck, what's this new guy starting? No, I was shocked how easy things have gotten, even for what we need to do, how quick. Like I don't need anything from you, right? Yes, you have to log into your password and stuff, and it gets the information from your accounts and everything else. But I can do verification of employment in seconds now.
Yeah.
Which before, if you go to the lender, if they don't go through this, it takes days. I'm talking seconds. It was so fast.
And they fax it in. I remember. Well, I remember when
I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore because I don't live in the 80s.
No, seriously. Like when I was managing the apartment complexes, like if we had employees buying a house, they would fax me in the verification, and I have to fax it back. And I'm like,
you know why?
Can we have secure email? Well, it's because it's
before secure email. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just easier. They have CPAs who still only do that now.
Yeah.
With certain things because they didn't, but they're getting better because of that. But look, Loan Depot just got attacked.
It's cyber attacks are everywhere.
Yeah, so it's just better to keep everything offline and do not, upload, don't email your stuff to people because they can steal your emails. Google has access to every email that you send if you have a Gmail.
Yeah. Yeah. People
read them too.
People think that, I've got the email in my computer, right?
Yeah. Well, they read them also.
Yeah. For sure.
People don't know. It's going through the server. They have some in there, writing everything down, looking for those words.
Yeah.
Big government's listening.
Oh, you just have to assume it, right?
Say something and wait till your phone tells you about it.
Oh no. Yeah. Trust me. I have all my settings turned off as far as like Facebook and stuff like that. Cause my buddy was telling me years before I had a Facebook, he's like, my wife and I were talking about motorcycles. And then I had all these ads for motorcycles.
Yeah. It's listening. Be careful. All right. Anything else we want to talk about?
No, that's it. I appreciate it.
So all we're saying is get referred a lender, double check, look for the reviews, all those different things to make sure they're who they are and what they can do. That's the easiest way to find them. And if they're a really good lender, they should have their own personal website. It talks everything about them and everything. Yeah. Of course I'm saying this because I have one, and really good lenders have a book.
Yeah. They've taken the time to share the knowledge with
that's right. Or or on a radio show or was in a documentary. I'm just kidding. Those you got to be careful becoming authority in your industry too much. Then people are like, well, you're so big. You don't want to do my transaction. Yes, I do. I want to do them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never too busy.
Yeah. I saw an agent make that statement because she'd heard a few people didn't go through her because their transactions were like average. And she's like, they thought she was too big because of all the stuff she does on Instagram. And she goes, I do the stuff on Instagram so I can get your transaction. So who you know I am. And
yeah,
please, I'm not ever too busy to deal with your transaction.
Yeah.
All right. Make it a great day. Thanks for being here, Bobby.
Thank you, Ed.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
And we'll talk to you next week. Everybody make it a great day. And